この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo, and I am here to continue Hyouka, starting with episode 3, itself a continuation of our slow progress, working our way through the Kyoto Animation catalog of animated series. And last time we watched the first 2 episodes, and they were pretty cool. We've got that classic, let's call it trademark Kyoto Animation quality going on here, and some gorgeous characters with some really strong character designs, and a pretty beautiful world, and some very interesting directing, and cool cuts, and cool stuff, and generally interesting, kind of fun mysteries without any of the darker things that often come along with mysterious storytelling. So far, it's been rather simple things. Why is this book being checked out every week by a different person? Well, turns out it's the art club, just using it as a model for some of their paintings. What is this strange club that there are rumors about? Turns out it's actually Oreki trying to get his way away from Chitanda for a little while, but then she just ropes him up and drags him back in, which is pretty cool. Where we left off, Oreki had gone ahead and met with Chitanda in this cafe full of like clocks on all the walls, this pretty cafe, and it seems like she's about to spill some kind of beans to him. Don't know what about, but I'm gonna assume, given what they've been doing for the last 2 episodes, that she's got some kind of mystery that she wants solved, and I'm going to assume further that it has something to do with this thing that she's been hinting at as a reason for her to be in the Classics Club, but has been reticent to actually, elaborate on. So I'm gonna think and hope and see, but maybe we'll find out what that thing is, because it's really interesting, and it makes me very curious as she is. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive on into Hyouka episode 3. I was informed by somebody in the comments that this arc probably ends around episode 5, so that's going to be our target for the day. I don't know if we'll make it there. I'm starting this video. It's really late. We had Vinland and B-Stars this morning and other stuff going on too. So I'm starting at like 5 p.m. It's pretty late in the day. So either we'll maybe not watch all 3 of those episodes of Hyouka right now, or maybe I will push Chihayafuru until tomorrow on Monday when I have a little bit more time. Either way, we'll figure it out as we go and just wing it as usual. It'll largely depend on how much there is that I want to discuss or talk about or just blather on about in these first couple of episodes. But we'll aim for episode 5. We'll see. In any case, let's do the thing. I've got Hyouka episode 3 up and ready to go. Again, we are still using the Cold Girls rip sub thing majiggy with it. I still haven't, nobody's let me know that that was a bad idea, so I'm just sticking with it. I've got the episode up and ready to go. It is at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions. This reaction video, you can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there in the description, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. If you would like to sync your own copy of the episodes up with the timer-based version, that's what it's there for. Just get your copy ready, because the beep beep timer to count you down is coming at ya. The cafe. Pineapple sand. Tick, 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 tick. Ooh, a heart. Oh. This is, as we go on, we remember all the times yeah. Okay. What's the favor? Does it mean I have to put in effort? Wait, is that the same guy? Damn right you will. Oh, it's not a heart, and it's not stopping. That was weird. That was weird. What? What? gonna write down heart clock question mark. We'll come back to that. What he told me. Yeah, please elaborate. Yeah. Was it like his deathbed statement or? Oh, okay. So, kind of. Japanese man missing. Kindergarten. Was in classics club. These paper folds are really cool. Whoa. Oh, that was so cool. $350 transition. Paper. And you've forgotten this. You remember everything around it, but like going back to the classics club. Okay. Sure, sure. You're good at this shit. Mm. Can I just say? Never mind. Sure. Sure. Yeah, she's real cute. there is a power in this universe. tiny, tiny, tiny. Covered, covered, covered. Fair. Use the power. How do you know he's not already dead? Ah. Ah, so time tick tick. Sure. Okay. Seeking, 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 as he does nothing. Oh. Okay. Okay. So accepting without accepting the responsibility of it. Interesting. Interesting that he feels the need to make that distinction, I would say. Well, empty before you know it. We know how you feel about it. I love exam week. I'm weird like that. Oh. Just going downhill. Mm. Some of those transitions are so good. Best friendo? Bit of a mistake, eh? Oh, no, it was the mailman. She's gone all sorts of places and brought things back. Wonder if there's any relation between her and the uncle. Hmm. Oh. Oh. Soka. Indeed. Almost as though it was written. Oh. Dost thou hast a cold? It's not here. Oh, Chi-chan, you can't say that. You're not Yu-chan. In the room. Oh. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, through depth of field. Whee! God damn. Oh. What is that? Box things? What were those? They look kind of like motion sensors, but weird and taped on. Well, instantly distrust. The what? Who? Closing the door behind him. Oh. What you hiding in there, bro? Oh. Recognized. That memory of hers. That's another interesting wrinkle. Chitana doesn't forget things. And yet she forgot her uncle's words. What's on his hands? My initial guess is that he's having an affair with a teacher. Yeah, nothing suspicious. What you hiding? He's already figured it out. Yes. But they're not in this room. Just go away. That's way too much effort. Let's not do that. Uh-huh. Hmm. Seems normalish. Hmm. That was a weird cut. How about a metal safe? About to cook your goose. Yep. Yep. That's not the worry. Yeah. What are you afraid of, buddy? And acquiescence. Which I'm sure you will. Rather quickly as soon as we've left. And whatever you're hiding is no longer at worry. Uh-huh. Please go and explain it. Hmm. Were they one of the four? Does it? Oh, who would have thunk? Ah, title drop. A little bit of a threat. Yes, please tell me. Uh-huh. Close the door behind him. Hmm. Wanted some background noise. Oh. Ah. Staying with the that as the thing. That's what that was. So it was a motion sensor, essentially. Because the room smells. Weed. Or that. Oh, okay. It's a lot more innocuous than I was thinking it would be, but okay. Makes sense. Oh, good point. What about you? Right. He's not. Mmm. Perfectly sensible. Yeah, sure. You try real hard to. Okay. The little thick arms. Uncle? Something about her uncle in that issue? Okay. That building again? A hero into a legend. Sure. That's easy 2 plus 2. Maybe. No, she wants to understand. Yeah. Maybe. Hmm. Hmm. Of course it is. My dog is barking. Nicky dog, it's okay. Okay. Cool. An interesting episode. A simple single self-contained mystery folded inside of the greater like mystery that's going on that's being addressed here. Uh cool. I think the first thing I want to do is look through this intro sequence first because there were a lot of interesting things going on here. Like a lot of them. The first thing and the one thing that I was about to say and then stopped saying because it seemed like characters were saying something important was that uh there's Mm, coffee shop exposition is a thing. It's a trope and not a good one. It's usually bad. It's usually the worst. It's usually I see characters sit down at a coffee shop and I just fucking groan because I know that they're going to talk about exposition things and the author doesn't have like the wherewithal to come up with a better way to introduce those concepts to the audience. I didn't get any of that from this coffee shop scene. Although on the face of it, it is effectively an exposition scene. It's also interesting and mysterious, and it doesn't feel forced in any way. It just feels natural, like actually meeting somebody at a coffee shop and talking to them about something. I think a part of that is because we don't know any of the information that's about to be told to us by Chitanda, which is important. I mean, it creates our entire sense of tension here. All right. Immediately there are things weird about this place. First off, everything in these first couple of scenes is exactly what Oreki says his life is not. It is all rose tinted. It's on the walls, it's on the characters. His eyes are a different color because they've got a pinkish filter over them, as does she. And then beyond that, there's the heart-shaped clock pendulum, and things like that. And then very literally, I mean, if we okay, actually all of the pendulums are hearts, aren't they? Yep. And then the one behind her as well? Yep. Think so. All right, and then there's that guy who is not the same guy. Oh, he is the same guy. All right. Anyway, the rosy tinted glow goes away once she actually the truth is I have a favor I'd like to ask you. It all snaps away and the color is gone. We see it right here. Okay, rose tinted, and gorgeous. Not rose tinted. Flash. Snapped out of it, and then we pull back and make it awesome. And then we cut to here because the first thing that we're going to notice once we cut to here is what's in the top right corner, and that is that the clock no longer has a heart-shaped pendulum. This is all really cool. And in this moment, just before she actually speaks, the clock stops. His heart stops. This is all a fantasy world that he's in for these moments. Just a little bit. Not knowing what it's going to be. And we did leave off with him wondering if this was going to be some kind of confession. The entry into, I mean, you could make a light novel title of it. I entered my rose-tinted high school life as this girl sat across from me at the coffee shop table. Just keep going with the title. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. What flashes in the pendulum? Does something flash here? Or is it just it's just shifting of light? Okay. I thought that there was something hidden there. Just had a feeling. Okay, cool. And then bop. And everything is normal. And we follow his gaze. And we're informed of that by the movements of the camera. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. This is a very cool sequence. I like this sequence a lot. There's also just general really interesting framing going on throughout it. And then carrying over until after the OP, where things become a lot more traditional in that there's a good chunk of shot reverse shot, but it's almost always broken up by other more interesting things. All right, paper. Learned that my uncle used to be in the classes club and grew curious. Do we fold the paper into it as well? I know we fold the paper out of it. not quite. It's similar, but okay. Then we enter into this really unique paper cutout sequence. This moment where he folds open into a widened face is amazing. It's partly so tricky because oh yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, okay. 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 And then that is maybe my favorite cut in the show so far. Just because of how clever this is. Paper cut folds out. Where do we flash? Open and flash. And then down. So it effectively wipes the screen. At least over our characters, right? Come on. Going back frame by frame is always weird. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, whatever. Yeah, okay. It wipes the characters. Cool. All right. And then over the course of the sequence, once I think once she brings up the posting on the wall, the thing that he made up before. Actually, I do want to see the dialogue for this portion. You cried. Unlike other questions, he didn't want to answer me. He didn't. I bugged him about it until he eventually answered me. But when I heard his answer, I cried. Don't know if I was scared or sad, but I still cried like a baby, and I still do not remember what it is. And we'll talk about that, because that's weird. But then, yeah, okay. So at this point, this is where I kind of noticed it, that we start to frame things covering parts of Oreki's face. And you could say that we do the same thing here, but this is a little bit different. This is the emotion of her balled up fists as she's like nervously trying to get this out. And then, yeah, immediately to a full face of her, but I just can't remember. Okay, so let's talk about that now. So far, Chitanda has had, and it's never been specified or really clarified what it is with her memory, but so far she has demonstrated what seems to be leaning into like an eidetic memory, right? Eidetic, eidetic, eidetic memory, eidetic, eidetic. Okay, thank you. More commonly called a photographic memory. She has the keen mind feat. She remembers everything, but she's forgotten this. That's a little funky, isn't it? There's just something a little weird about the fact that somebody with a demonstrably almost perfect memory of many things has forgotten this one crucial thing that her uncle told her. Simply because it seemed to have a major emotional impact. But usually you would think that such an emotional impact would make something stick in your head more than anything. And she remembers all of these details of the surrounding events, of how her mother acted and other things that she had asked her uncle about, and all sorts of things about it, but not the words themselves. That's weird. There's something weird about that. I don't think we have all the information that we need to come to a conclusion. We're missing something here for sure, and I think we'll get that over the next couple of episodes. But there's something strange there, and we've got a good chunk, I think, enough to get Oreki's mind spinning a little bit. Sekitani Jun was in the classes club. 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Transition to the paper. Heart clock ? Forgot something? Chitanda ? Okay, yeah. Okay. And then, yeah, that was your personal reason. Yes. Like the teacher's fading away. Yes. Some somewhat shot, reverse shot. Oh. Ah, okay. Don't get the wrong idea. And next line, that was all just luck. Interested. Blow. And he's worried that it'll change her entire outlook on life. Interesting. Lots of crazy framing. Like this scene where we get him just shoved down into this corner. We use a lot of like control of frame in this show so far. It's pretty interesting. And then we put them on kind of an even keel. The other interesting thing that does continue going on here is that without directly breaking the 180-degree rule, we switch sides from like which side we're on of the 180 degree rule, which maintains consistency across scenes, but we switch sides with things breaking it up in between. Like if we were doing pure shot reverse shot with 180-degree rule, we would never get, where is it? I don't actually know where it is. Shite. Actually, past the OP, it looks like Chitanda's always on the right side of the frame. And before that, I know there's a scene where it's the opposite. I just can't find it. Okay, never mind. Just ignore me. Really doesn't matter. It's just a little trickiness going on here. Nothing too crazy. But all in all, fascinatingly directed and really cool. Lots of subtext, lots of interesting things going on. And lots of clocks and time, which then factor in later into the conversation as time is ticking down for her as her uncle is going to be pronounced deceased after having been missing for 7 years. This scene is rather simple but effective imagery of her digging and digging and digging these shallow holes and never really getting anywhere as Oreki just sits and doesn't expend any energy. Pretty interesting stuff. And then by the time it ends, he looks down at his glass and it's empty, as though it just snapped by without him realizing it. A little bit of that rosy tint, you know? He really likes talking to Chichanda, and yeah, it's pretty reasonable to expect that. Okay, club activities on hold. I love the way that we flash through this studying exam. Very much captures the feel. Oh yeah, and then there's this transition as he slumps back into his chair. Slumps down, and then falls into bed. That's a cool shot. It's a cool idea for a transition. And then the use of the bookshelves, the books on the bookshelves to frame everything with the letter and this stuff, and then all of this with the paper texture over it. Kind of cool. Introduced to the fact that Chitanda has a cold, which becomes somewhat relevant a little bit later. Off on the search for the things. Depth of field. Gonna continue doing this. I'm just gonna expect that we will continuously continue bringing characters in and out of the foreground to the background and vice versa over and over and over. It's a neat trick. It's always interesting. All right, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was, yeah, it takes him a moment to get to the door. I had the door locked. Are you here to join the Wall Newspaper Club? The fan is running. The window's open. And our introduction to this character is from his waist up, right? With a hand in a pocket. Yep. Thumb in a pocket, which is a little bit more dominant than full hand in a pocket, body language-wise, which is loose, not even a science. It's just loose bullshit. But we're introduced to this character by his waist, by his hips. Initially puts us ill at ease because we don't see his face. We don't know who's talking. And he is talking at this moment, which is important for actually creating that effect. So we see our character's reaction, our insert character, Oreki's reaction first to this guy. He goes from normal, glum, and bland to even more of a little bit of a frown and a narrowing of the eyes before he comes out. And he's already thinking. So we're already thinking. What do we know about this guy? What's going on? Something's weird here. We don't trust him. Who is he? What's he talking about? And he gives the side eye. Gives the side eye to Oreki. And then the fake smile to Chitanda. Immediately there's something wrong, something mysterious, but we don't know what. And then as soon as they start to pressure, he starts to be taken aback by it. Kind of a repeat of the walking out of the library scene where Chitanda grabbed him and yanked him back. This time a little bit less of a yank, but still the same deal. Don't you think he's acting suspicious? Yeah, absolutely. And so we sort of force our way into the room, take stock of all of the elements that are here, and he has figured out the mystery. I was still being jerked around by it, I knew that there was something wrong and he was trying to hide it. I thought it was sex. He's an older student. He's trying to hide something. He wipes something off. The receiver's right there. Lots of things make sense here. I assume maybe he has cigarettes in his pocket. Maybe that's why he started off with his hand in his pocket. But his entire body language and everything about him reads, I'm trying to hide something. And then he gets more and more and more and more and more nervous. And then he has noticed, yeah, that the manuscript is blowing around. And then where's the scene where we pull out from him? Would you mind? Right, he puts all the pressure on him. I think it's right there. No? Wait, where is it? What? Because it was a really cool shot. And I wanted to see how it was put together. Yeah. And then there's a really cool cut of him becoming really angry, which we'll come back to at 17-ish. Okay, yell, 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 yell. Got him. Yell, 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 yell. Anger, rage. Talkity talk, talkity talkity talk, talkity talk. And acquiesce. Okay. I feel like I've missed it. I know it's once we're led into the room. Oh, it's this one. Yep. It's almost like a dolly shot. It's weird. Like not a dolly shot, like a dolly zoom. It feels like we're changing the lens smoothly across this shot. It's weird. We go from like this perspective to much narrower. Really weird. And partly because there are things moving around that shouldn't be moving. Very strange. Very interesting. Okay, and then at 17-ish, we get the initial moment of emotion from him as he's pressured. And there, yeah. Some cool facial animation going on here. Lots of stretchiness. It's clear when you actually watch it that like he's distorting and contorting in really like in a really emotional and interesting way. Maybe unrealistic to an extent, but like it sells it. Then he takes this step forward. You, me, I. Fine. So much in that one little hand gesture. So good. So good. Physical, visual storytelling. Kyoto Animation is the best at it. Also, this sort of detective walkthrough with the dot patterns everywhere, applied to everything, going back through all the events, all the things that we've seen that would tick us off. Man, that is a lot of prep just to smoke your damn cigs. Just gotta go outside, man. Just gotta go outside. It's as easy as that. But we find the volumes, and volume 1 is missing. And when we're talking about the volumes, when we're talking about him as a hero, we then again show this building out there. It's the second or third time that we've shown it and like mentioned it. Made it seem important or somehow related to Chitanda's quest to find answers. Previously, we had no idea what that quest was actually going to be. Some truth better left forgotten. Almost certainly. If it were something mundane, she wouldn't have forgotten it. Interesting. And issue 1 is missing, so the mystery continues. Interesting. Okay. This was a cool episode. Some really interesting direction stuff going on in the first segment with the somewhat rose tint and the hearts and just generally cool things going on. And then the time stop of the heart pendulum, that was aces. And then making us instantly intrigued by this character that we meet, the head of the newspaper club, and know that something's off with him, but it turns out to be something relatively mundane and not that important. Um, okay, but very important to him. Lies always are. They're much more important to the person who's lying than most of the people around them. Most of the time. Okay. I think the most curious thing to me is how did Chitanda forget something? Because I do not believe that she's capable of forgetting things. Not yet. We haven't really clarified what kind of, what the limitations of her seemingly exceptional memory really are. Interested to find out more about that. All right. So, what I'm going to do, we are 52 minutes into recording. That's pretty good. I'm going to take a quick break, check up on some things, pet my dog for a little bit, and then run a syncy thing so that all the tracks are synced up and we're good to go for the next episode. And then we will go ahead and jump on into episode 4. So, I'll see you in a moment. Alrighty, welcome back. We are good to go, all synced up and ready for Hyouka episode 4. So, if you're using the timer-based version, beep beep timer. Still got the cold. Right. The year before. But we can't tell them. Right. Hmm. All right. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice. Maybe. Cool. And OP. Mm. I wonder what those flowers are. And what they maybe represent in Hanakotoba. I don't know. Really? Really? What's up with you? None. That's why we love him. Whoops. Okay. God, the attention to detail. Tons. Ah, but it expends effort. Ree. Ah, that's what you meant. You're gonna be on about that again? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. Right. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Might be kind of accurate, though. Mm-hmm. Just as planned. Oh, that's a big wall. A big estate. Okay, okay. Chitanda Tachi, all of them. Okay. Sebastian. Probably not. It's just a Chitanda. Aww. Ah, so it was Chitanda and everyone, not all of the Chitandas. Gotcha. I want a full room covered in tatami mats. So much. Sure. What information do we have? Perfect. Okay. Hmm. And out the window. Yep. That means I'm last. Nice. Okay, the same one we heard. He was expelled. Why? Hero into legend? Legend. No, okay. Hmm. Fair. All right, what have you got? Yikes. Perhaps he fought them. Sure. But simplistic. Doesn't seem right. Rather rose tinted. Yeah. But have they been banned for 46 years? Or were they banned because of that? What was yours? Yeah. Oh, the flow is so nice. ¿Por qué no? Whoosh. You did, actually. Hmm. Okay. We should. I thought we were going to do all the information, but this is more interesting anyway. Sure. Sounds nice. Oh, which is. Oh. Okay. Doesn't seem right. How would that make him a hero in the eyes of the future students? Oh, I suppose that would be it. Right. Mmm. Mm. Mm. Are we gonna move each time? Sweet. Nape. Hmm. I'm going to guess that Araki's research invalidates your theory once he puts everything together. Oh, good thinking. No violence. Sure. Hmm. She just mad because he's eating the rice balls that another girl made. Hmm. That's still valuable. It's the second time he's called himself that. Hmm. Hmm. Well, let's go through it anyway. It might spark something. Hmm. Too much energy. Oh boy. And the rain comes. Oh. Hmm. Hmm. Shit. Oh no! I wonder if I'll find something related to the image. Oh, is this her room? It is her room. Animal stuff. Yeah. Roses. What do you got? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sekitan June. Right. Seems likely. So they went ahead and did whatever it was that was banned. Okay. It's when they decided to... Okay. Okay. Hmm. He kept doing cultural things instead of going back to class. Right? Something like that. Right? Okay. Martyr. Oh. I got no gripes with that. It is kind of his job as a character at this point. Uh-huh. Just lucky. Cool. But... But... Still doesn't answer the question of what he said. Hmm. Hmm. Doesn't answer that question. Jikai? Groovy. Cool. That's what I'm waiting for. Okay, so of all of the episodes so far, this was my least favorite, which is a very high bar, and like not to say that this was a bad episode or anything of the sort. Simply that of them so far, I think this one was my least favorite. And I think a big part of that is because we don't get to see the investigation part. And I think that's, like, for me, the most fun part. We are just given information piece by piece. And I think that this is the first time that it's felt like a novel adaptation to me. Because I could see this working a little bit better in a textual format. When we're in an entirely theoretical space throughout this episode, entirely based on research and investigation that has already been concluded, that has already been done by each of the characters. We're just seeing it or hearing it as they explain it to each other. And I think that's a little bit weaker than getting to see the events and the evidence ourselves and get to wonder about it. Not that it's weak necessarily, but that it's weaker than the investigations and mysteries that we've seen before. Now, there are still some really cool things. There's the direction and the flow of the episode, I think, is what stood out to me as like the best part of the episode. The flow of the dialogue and what characters say when. It's just sort of snappy and kind of fun. There's a rhythm to it, not in the actual like the way that they speak or anything like that, but a rhythm to the way that they either interrupt each other or play off of each other or speak out after one another. It's just interesting. And there are some cool shots in the beginning of the episode with the riding bikes and stuff, and the gag with him doing the sort of flamboyant fun thing. Ow, that was loud. Recording timestamp 1:25:00 loud. Just so that you don't have to deal with what I just dealt with. Okay, and then mute. Yeah, good. Okay, some cool stuff with the riding bikes and some like we get our trademark depth of field shots here. There and there and there. Yeah, and the just attention to detail of how a bike works. It's great. As somebody who like made my own bike and I like bikes and bikes are cool. It's kind of cool to see that kind of attention to detail. Yeah, and then this is a really cool place. It's a cool setting for the episode. The characters are doing their character things. That's pretty fun. But there wasn't anything that super stood out to me. As before, some of these like doodly drawings and in your mind sketchy things are pretty cool. And that they gave a distinct aesthetic to each of their explanations and each of their ideations of their research is pretty cool. Yeah, but standout, absurdly awesome, nah, not quite. Interesting, sure. And as I think I'm invested in the in finding out the truth of the thing, sure. But I think I'm more interested and more invested in finding out the truth of what Chitanda is specifically looking for than the truth of what happened in the club itself 45 years ago. And I'm not quite sold that the two are necessarily perfectly related. Yeah, so we get this other distinctive style here, and then another distinctive style, and then we put it all together. I will say that the sequence where Oreki is oh, actually, there was something here that I wanted to mention now that it's actually happened, and I didn't like this actually. So at first we're using Chitanda's shaping of the rice balls as like in the same way that we were using the clocks or the drinking of the coffee in the previous episode as a way of keeping track of how much time has passed in between conversations or like over the course of the conversations. So we move along a little bit. Let's just super speed a little bit. And we'll get the next shot of her. Okay, so she's made 3, 4 now, and she's working on the 5th, right? She puts it down. And then I believe the next time we see one, they've conversed, and they're done. There should have been one more in between that, at least, because it doesn't function as a great way of keeping time. Otherwise, I don't know why there was this like perfect setup for it, and then we just sort of skipped to the end without seemingly enough time passing during the conversations. Now, I could just be reading it wrong, and maybe more time passed during that portion of the conversation than I think, or whatever. That's fine. Also, the eggplant emoji on her, like, apron is kind of cool. But that's the only thing in the episode that I didn't actually like. Everything else was pretty okay, but not the most exciting or the most interesting that it's been. Some cool direction, cool angles here as he gets lost, finds Chitanda's room, and decides not to intrude on her personal life, which is a good move. I don't know if I would have been able to do that. I am overly curious in that way. But then we get this cool I am becoming Sherlock moment with gears and clocks and time and stuff all around him, which is kind of cool. And then we get the big reveal. And episode endo. This, I think, another part of it is that I think this is the first one of the mysteries where I didn't feel like I could have solved it. And I think that's an important distinction. Like, whether or not I could have, at the end, do I feel like I should have been able to solve it from the information I was given as an audience member? And I think that the best mysteries are ones where you come to the end and go, oh, I could have solved it if I had had more time and been smarter, as opposed to he just put it together because he's that guy and that genius. It reminds me of a quote about genius. Hold on. Two kinds of genius. Yeah. They're a quote by Mark Cack or James Gleick. Not sure which one's correct. I don't know who to. Oh, no. Mark Cack. There are two kinds of geniuses, the quote ordinary and the quote magicians. An ordinary genius is a fellow whom you and I would be just as good as if we were only many times better. There is no mystery as to how his mind works. Once we understand what they've done, we feel certain that we too could have done it. It is different with magicians. Even after we understand what they have done, it is completely dark. Richard Feynman is a magician of the highest caliber. It's a cool quote. But I think that in the context that I'm reminded of it, it's that in previous episodes, it's been as though Oreki has been an ordinary genius, one that I can look at and go, oh, I could have gotten that eventually if I were just much better. There's no mystery as to how his mind works. In this case, I don't feel like I had all of the information to be able to say that, and so I don't relate to it as well. I don't know. Does that make any sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Doesn't really matter. In any case, all I wanted to say was this was a cool episode, but not the coolest episode. Cool? Cool. Again, gonna do a breaky thing, take a moment, do a resync, and then come on back to this for episode 5. So we're gonna go the distance, because I do want to find out the truth about, well, the classics, blah, 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 about the Classics Club, but more importantly, I want to find out the truth around whatever it is that Chitanda has forgotten. Because that's intriguing enough to be intrigued by. Alright, so I will take a break, and I will see you in a moment. Alright, welcome back. We are good to go on episode 5 of Hyouka, which promises truth and some kind of understanding, so hopefully we get some answers. That's what I'm looking for, and also some really cool stuff and some interesting animation and direction and things. We'll see. In any case, episode's up, ready to go, beep beep timer. Hmm. Hmm. Little ones, yeah. Oh, yeah. True. You could have just said, I think that theory is right. Sure. A little bit. A little bit. Oh, and Lorraine stops. Tired of being gray. And you seem relatively happy. Hmm. It's a big change from your starting episode. Maybe. Maybe. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Only you can answer that. Hmm. Hmm. Of course. Would you regret which? Oh, sis? You were mugged? That would do it. Cool. Hmm. Taboo. Did we get everything wrong? Damn it! Yeah! Just, just exploded all our theories? Oh no. And suddenly he's invested again. What's missing? Or was it tragic? Interesting. I thought he was going to say, I'm curious. Oh. All the way up. Too much energy. Same as it ever was. Okay. Okay. Does it have to do with the building out back? Not gonna say anything about it. Okay. Right, because it's just... Right. Ooh. Ambiguity. Any chance we can actually do that? Who's the writer? Are they still here? Hmm. She's the librarian. The one who seemed a little bit suspicious. You won't find them in the library. Name change? Ah. Wow. Oh, that was cool. It was interesting. He certainly is. Superpowers. All of it. That's why he was late. Uh-huh. Off we go. Oh, that was just showing off, KyoAni. Jesus. 3 characters simultaneously interacting with objects with full hair motion going around a table. Just showing off, KyoAni. Stop it. Stop it. Marching in. That was a great gag. And she holds on, because of course she does. That's us. Oh, I'm yawning like crazy. It's getting late. Answer time, answer time. Oh. Sort of. Sekitani Jun is my uncle. What happened? That's a lot of questions real fast, girl. Mm-hmm. Sure. He's real good at this. Nah, you did a lot more. You put a lot of glue in a lot of places. What's missing? That he wasn't a hero, but that he was sacrificed by others? Beatles analog, nice. Ooh. Oh, That's where that GIF is from. GIF. Hmm. But it makes sense. Hmm. How far? Something else burn? The building. That building. So, they needed a scapegoat, though. And so he was sacrificed. Yes and no. Hmm. Oh. Oh. You don't always get to choose. Is it still taboo? Yeah. Ah. He's pissed about it. I can't think of anything. Ah, big whoosh. Is it what she asked him about? What does Hyouka mean? Come on. Ice cream. I scream. What? In before. Ring-a-ling-a-ling. Hi, it's your uncle. I'm fine. Just chilling in India. It's cool here. Uh-huh. 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 Still don't know how that equals Hyouka. But alright. She's in the manga club, right? Rose-colored life takes effort. Hmm. No. Well, I guess. I mean, if you're offering. Hmm. Hmm. Right. Right. The same line of thinking. Cut in. I think that's what she was trying to do. Maybe. Of course. Of course. Hmm. 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 I'm going to Google one thing. It'll be Hyouka space ice cream. Space ice cream. How? Hyouka means ice cream in English, but how? In what way? Oh, Hyouka means ice cream in Japanese. Yeah? Okay. I'm gonna assume that's what it is. Frozen treat. Okay. That's so dumb! We built this whole intricate mystery around the dumbest pun. That's great. Okay, that's a cute Chitanda face. Commit a crime. And fiend. Okay. So we built this whole 3-episode, solid episodes, relatively intricate, and in the way that we peel back the layers of it, layered mystery from 45 years ago that in reality is all centered around, and they chose to title the entire show after it, is all centered around a dumb Japanese to English pun. I have to respect that. I have to respect it. And over the course of solving the mystery, our main character questions his main character traits, wondering if they're really what he wants from life. Because he's exposed to the possibility that this person from 45 years ago maybe wasn't as simple as he thought at first. That's at least interesting. It's pretty fucking interesting. Huh. Huh. And then we also revealed that the librarian who acted a little just a just a smidgen of suspiciousness there, just a little bit of weird in the way that she reacted to their initial questions about finding the anthologies. That becomes folded into the whole thing as well. The fact that her reaction, her response to their questions was suspicious enough to take note of her in an episode that was unrelated at that point. That's cool. That's planning ahead. I really like it. I really like that. Okay. Okay. I will also say that the direction felt crisper in this episode. Um, especially during, well, there's this shot, and there are just some cool shots throughout the episode. But more than that, there are some really cool things going on. Like here when when we're folding him against the wall, turns over, and then as soon as he completes the motion, we cut, and then we cut in close, setting up where he is, and then we cut in close into his brain space. Lots of little things like that that work super interestingly. And then the call from sister, again, acting as that which spurs him onward to find out more. What are we missing? What are we missing? The fact that he's not here for the meeting initially because he's probably meeting with the librarian at that moment. And then he shows up. And then there's this cool shot, which is cool. And then there's the scene where they all pick up their stuff and leave, which I want to see again. Yeah, let's go. Let's get going. Librarian. Yep. And then turning back the time, and then the whole sequence of her in color running around through this world, through the history. Really cool. Okay, where's the getting up and getting our stuff shot? Yeah. And obviously, Chitanda's the main focus of it. I think part of the way that they make this work is that they're moving all the characters on different frame counts. And so it gives the illusion that they're all moving at the same time. But they're actually animated on different frame counts. That might be the coolest thing I've ever seen. Wow. Wow. That's so cool. I wonder if there have been any other instances of something like that that I've just missed because it gets lost as like white noise in everything looking amazing in this show. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, but then we turn back time. If I could turn back time. Sorry. Okay, where's the tea pour? Cause if you happen to be in my Discord, you know that that's the symbol for my Discord, and I had no idea it was from this. I just went looking for gifs of tea being poured, and that was the one I found. And it happens to be from Hyouka, and now I know where it's from. Wait, where was it actually? No? Okay, I don't actually know where it was. It must be further along. That's fine. So, I thought we were gonna do a weird morph as we go through this sequence. I thought we were gonna then pull out and have this be her hair, but instead she comes in from the right side as the other one fades out, which I think is a smarter way to do it. Um, then this girl has Mugi's face. I just want to point that out that her face is totally Mugi's face, and that makes her pretty cute because Mugi's pretty cute. When she looks actually at the camera, yeah, yep, mm-hmm. The most classically KyoAni looking character. I mean, Ibara looks pretty. Ibara or Ihara? I don't actually remember. Looks pretty KyoAni ish. But as she's sort of wandering as a girl through these things. Oh, there it is. This one. Yeah, because it's loopable. Yep. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. I also really like the layout of this entire shot. With everybody in the bottom two-thirds of the screen. A nice horizontal line across them that only Ibara breaks, and then Yeah, Oreki down below. It's a cool layout. Wonder if we'll ever find out who he was. I'm gonna assume no. But interestingly, just like Sekitani Jun in the story, in history, Oreki is also someone who's almost unwillingly being dragged into the position of being a hero to other people around him. Like, he's a bit of a hero already to Chitanda and to his other friends because he's solving all of these mysteries that they couldn't have. And though he constantly attributes that to luck, we all know that that's kind of bullshit. He's a little bit special, a little bit Sherlock Holmesy here, and a little bit different, regardless of whether he wants to be. But they're the ones kind of roping him in and pushing him forward up until this point. It seems like this is a bit of a turning point for him, a point where he maybe starts to reconsider his choice to live without expending energy, which leads him to this gray life, this colorless life. I think actually that his friend is more correct to be saying that his life is colorless as opposed to gray, because gray's got a lot of color in it. But his life is decidedly and intentionally empty, and that's sad. It's a sad thing. So we also fold in the building, and we imply, I don't know, an emotional connection between her and Sekitani Jun in an interesting way. Then we explain this with the rabbit biting into the dog. It's pretty cool. A lot of the information was there. There was this feels like what I was talking about at the end of the last episode. It feels like we should have been able to catch on to these things, but we're ushered along by the show into the wrong interpretation, as the characters were, so why wouldn't we be? It's crazy cool. I like this, where just her eyes showing. It's pretty cute. And him, this moment where we see the vibrations through the water, and he's tapping his foot, kind of just pissed, just a little bit pissed that it was all so stupid, that it all came from ice cream. Oh, and then we don't quite go rose-colored; we go sunset-colored. But there is this pinkness to their skin tones as they talk about this, just a little bit. And then there's this whole sequence, which is amazing looking, total style change, and kind of horrifying. Just lucky. And on we go to make ourselves an anthology, and he willingly submits to actually doing the work. It's kind of cool. Become history to me eventually, and she's thinking along those same lines. Will it matter in 10 years? Will it matter to me? Huh. This is a cool way to conclude an arc. Very interesting. And then he sends the letter to his sister. My way of life. Relatively. Might not be relatively wrong. Very interesting. Okay. Well, this was 3 episodes of Hyouka, and a pretty interesting arc. Little dip in my interest in the second episode that we watched today, but not bad. Not bad by any stretch. Still gorgeous. Still really interestingly directed and put together show. And a fun mystery all built around something really simple. Very cool. Okay, I think that's going to be it for me, so let's wrap. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Hyouka episodes 3, 4, and 5. I hope you've enjoyed them as much as I have, and I hope to catch you next week when we watch some more. See you there. Peace.